Two dead after a lawless midday shooting. The gunman fatally shot his target and the cops killed the gunman. And buy gas tonight. The price of fuel is going up sharply tonight. We'll tell you by how much. Plus, he owns a large tour operator, but last night, Bradley Palman of Dark Knight was almost killed in his home. His wife tells us how the intruders put a gun to her 9-year-old's head. Also, we'll talk to a woman in Lemonal who told us how a Jaguar killed her dog, which was her son's best friend. We've got details of these and all the stories in our newscast for tonight, March 12th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Midday Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
At Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
4.3 million was paid for legal and professional fees in relation to Petrocarib. And another 4 million is projected to be spent every year for the next 3 years. 16 million in legal and professional advisory fees. What we done with Petrocarib in 2016.
The government's blue bond carried another 85 million in transaction costs. That's tens of millions more in legal and advisory fees. So who's collecting?
Show those fees!
Exposed by Freedom of Information requests, the government admitted Courtney Coy LLP was paid $227,000 on just one disclosed contract. How many more are there? So while millions of dollars are being spent, the Prime Minister is begging Washington for help securing our borders.
It is important that we get the necessary assistance, especially from the United States. We need equipment. We need intelligence.
But there's no shortage of millions for legal and advisory services.
Who is getting those legal and professional advisory fees?
It's time to come clean, Mr. Prime Minister.
We have centralized systems of corruption in this government.
Glenfield Dennison was caught trying to charge BTL for negotiations on behalf of former workers.
He insists he never charged the workers group a cent and claims the invoice was only a negotiating tactic.
If the invoice was just a negotiating tactic, why would Dennison ask BTL to pay the legal fees as part of settlement? And if BTL had agreed, who would have received payment? Dennison, of course, because he sent the invoice the day after the last negotiations to be considered with the 4.5% interest requested by BCWJ. What's worse, the cost of legal work submitted is grossly inflated. Those are senior counsel rates, and Dennison is not a senior counsel. As to the tax identification number on the invoice, no such TIN number is registered with GST. So, we must also ask whether he is licensed with the FIU as required. There's also the question of whether as a Crown Counsel Dennison violated the public service rules which state a judicial and legal officer shall not engage in any private legal work or private business of a legal nature. It's time for him to stop the games and come clean.
Imagine, a ref calls a technical on LeBron, ejects him, then walks to the bench, puts on a jersey, and checks into the game to take LeBron's place. WTH? That's what happened at the central bank. First, Kareem Michael was a deputy governor for financial supervision, basically the referee for the banks. And while he was in charge of that department, Choice Banks' license was cancelled. Not too long after, Mr. Michael resigned from the central bank and went as a paid private contractor to run the shutdown of the same Choice Bank. When he was finished, he simply walked right back into his old job at the central bank. Who does that? An arrogant Belizean public servant who knows all and thinks he's too big for his judgment to be questioned by anyone.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
The NEBL heads into weekend number 4 on Friday night. The Belmopan Trojans try to bounce back into the winning column against the number 1 team in the league, the Orange Walk Running Rebels, 8 p.m. at the UB Gymnasium. Then on Saturday night, a big showdown of the ballers as the high-flying Cayo Western Ballers is locked and ready to crush the powerful and tall Dalgriga Dream Ballers, 8 p.m. at the Victor Galvez Stadium. And in Corozal, the Corozal Spartans look to turn their season around with their first win against the Biting Tiger Sharks from San Pedro in their home opener, 8 p.m. at the Andre Campos Civic Center. The NEBL Girls Plus performance by Yastalia. Giveaways at all games. And at halftime, the big National Sports Council $5,000 shooting challenge. So make this weekend an NEBL weekend. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Compulsorily acquire Stake Bank Island.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
This government used its power to take land from a Belizean developer to give to a foreign company.
And those are things that the U.S. government takes really seriously.
Washington noticed. They've been watching. So when the Prime Minister went begging for help,
Especially for the United States, we need equipment, we need intelligence.
But Washington's response? The United States invited 12 Central American and Caribbean heads of state to discuss border security. John Briceño was not invited. What does that tell you?
They're willing to be aggressive and do whatever they can against these individuals who are taking these actions in these countries.
Secretary Rubio have the Department of State assess the current state of rule of law, judicial independence, and property rights protections in Belize.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online. por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
These charter mints aren't
We're navigating along the coast.
This morning, the 2023 in the...
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelso, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm a bureaucrat.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Two men are dead after a violent and frightening armed assault in a busy part of Belize City this morning. The shooter killed his target in a gang rivalry while the police pursued and killed the gunman. Here's what we gathered at the scene today. Jo Marie Lanza reports.
A barrage of bullets was aimed at this small food truck on East Colette Canal just after 11 this morning. The target was Clinton Powell, who was at his mother's food establishment. Powell sustained injuries, along with his sister, Keandra. More than 24 shots were fired by a man on the back of a motorcycle, from what is believed to be an automatic rifle. But police were in the area, and they responded immediately, pursuing and shooting the suspected gunman in the Conch Bay area. That man has since been identified as Ryan Barnett, who died from his injuries a few hours later, and so did his target, Clinton Powell.
Police are investigating an incident which resulted in the death of 2 persons and the injury of another. Initial investigation suggests that siblings Keandra Powell, 27 years of age, and Clinton Powell, 29 years of age, were at a stall on East Colette Canal at approximately 11:15 a.m. when they were fired upon. Officers on patrol in the immediate area responded to this incident, and the indication is that a third person, namely 40-year-old Ryan Barnett, who the indication is that he's a suspect in that shooting incident, may have been shot in the course of police's response. Both Clinton Powell and Ryan Barnett have since succumbed to the gunshot injuries that they sustained, and Keandra Powell is reported to be in a stable condition.
Reports are that this shooting may have been motivated by a gang rivalry, but police have yet to confirm this.
Would you be able to say if this incident had any correlation to the murder of Edward Saldano that occurred last week?
We are not able to conclusively say so. However, that is an area that is being explored.
And while that angle is being explored, police have yet to locate the weapon that was used in this shooting. And this afternoon, the Coast Guard personnel could be seen in the Hollover Creek diving for it. Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
On this developing story in the coming days, we will have more for you. The war in Iran is driving up world gas and oil prices, and as of midnight, the effect is going to be felt sharply in Belize. Pump prices for regular and premium fuel are going up by over $8 per gallon, while the price of diesel will remain unchanged. In the city, premium, which is at $12.53 per gallon right now, is going up to $13.76, which is an increase of $1.23 per gallon. Regular is going up from $11.77 to $13.02, which is an increase of $1.25 per gallon. Diesel will be remaining stable at $12.05 per gallon, but that may also increase soon when the next shipment arrives. And a boat with diesel on board, the Hermilda Viajero, is still not being allowed to offload its cargo at the Big Creek port tonight, and it remains under the watch of the Coast Guard. The Chief Environmental Officer, Anthony Mai, told us the importer did not follow import conditions and ran afoul of Coast Guard and Belize Port Authority procedures. As a consequence, he says they, quote, will be held accountable for the violation, and we are discussing the proper disposal of the fuel. He says they did not apply for and obtain an import permit for fuel from the Department of the Environment. The Commissioner of Ports, Kalon Young, told us, quote, as it relates to the cargo on board the vessel, well, that remains under the jurisdiction of the Customs Department and the Department of Environment. They will determine the action taken regarding that. The vessel has a Colombian crew and carries a Panamanian flag. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you how tour operator Bradley Palman was almost killed defending his home from robbers, and show you a major bust of undersized conch. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
$4.3 million was paid for legal and professional fees in relation to Petrocaribe. And another $4 million is projected to be spent every year for the next 3 years. $16 million in legal and professional advisory fees. What we done with Petrocaribe in 2016.
The government's blue bond carried another $85 million in transaction costs. That's tens of millions more in legal and advisory fees. So who's collecting?
Show those fees!
Exposed by Freedom of Information requests, the government admitted Courtney Coy LLP was paid $227,000 on just one disclosed contract. How many more are there? So while millions of dollars are being spent, the Prime Minister is begging Washington for help securing our borders.
It is important that we get the necessary assistance, especially for the United States. We need equipment. We need intelligence.
But there's no shortage of millions for legal and advisory services.
Who is getting those legal and professional advisory fees?
It's time to come clean, Mr. Prime Minister.
We have centralized systems of corruption in this government.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Compulsorily acquire Stake Bank Island.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
This government used its power to take land from a Belizean developer to give to a foreign company.
And those are things that the U.S. government takes really seriously.
Washington noticed. They've been watching. So when the Prime Minister went begging for help,
Especially for the United States, we need equipment. We need intelligence.
But Washington's response? The United States invited 12 Central American and Caribbean heads of state to discuss border security. John Briceño was not invited. What does that tell you?
They're willing to be aggressive and do whatever they can against these individuals who are taking these actions in these countries.
Secretary Rubio have the Department of State assess the current state of rule of law, judicial independence, and property rights protections in Belize.
Glenfield Dennison was caught trying to charge BTL for negotiations on behalf of former workers.
He insists he never charged the workers group a cent and claims the invoice was only a negotiating tactic.
If the invoice was just a negotiating tactic, why would Dennison ask BTL to pay the legal fees as part of settlement? And if BTL had agreed, who would have received payment? Dennison, of course, because he sent the invoice the day after the last negotiations to be considered with the 4.5% interest requested by BCWJ. What's worse, the cost of legal work submitted is grossly inflated. Those are senior counsel rates, and Dennison is not a senior counsel. As to the tax identification number on the invoice, no such TIN number is registered with GST, so we must also ask whether he is licensed with the FIU as required. There's also the question of whether as a Crown Counsel Dennison violated the public service rules which state a judicial and legal officer shall not engage in any private legal work or private business of a legal nature. It's time for him to stop the games and come clean.
Champion security, champion security, champion security. Yeah. Your security is our business, so we gonna protect you like a champion, like a champion.
Guess what, Mr. Handsome? Yeah, over there, champion security. This is the place to be. What does sign say? Champion Security. Here at Champion Security, we provide quality service. You know why? Such as triology lock, fire alarm, IP camera system, gate operator, biometric lock, and alarm system. Champion Security. Make a go check out where they go on inside of Champion Security. And boy, nice to meet you, my brother. Tell me a little bit more about Champion Security.
Well, welcome, Mr. Handsome. Here at Champion Security, we offer fire system, alarm system, camera system, gate operator, access control, and also trilogy locks and magnetic locks. Everything you need to do with security systems for residential and businesses, you could find everything here at Champion Security. We also consist of 12 technicians, and we offer technical support 24 hours. So anything you need for your security systems, you could find everything here at Champion Security.
Remember, guys, here at Champion Security, we live by our motto, where your safe stay is our business. Give us a call now. Don't forget to check us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And continue to shake it to the max all the way. Champion Security, the best place to be. We care for your safety.
You want to rent it? That's not a problem. We got remote gate.
I'm Randolph Friesen, and I manage Westbell Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high-quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high-quality, locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported, and we said, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business. So when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
Imagine, a ref calls a technical on LeBron, ejects him, then walks to the bench, puts on a jersey, and checks into the game to take LeBron's place. WTH? That's what happened at the central bank. First, Kareem Michael was a deputy governor for financial supervision. basically the referee for the banks. And while he was in charge of that department, Choice Banks' license was cancelled. Not too long after, Mr. Michael resigned from the central bank and went as a paid private contractor to run the shutdown of the same Choice Bank. When he was finished, he simply walked right back into his old job at the central bank. Who does that? An arrogant Belizean public servant who knows all and thinks he's too big for his judgment to be questioned by anyone.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, the Fisheries Department is sitting on a major bust of undersized conch, which they captured today after a high-speed chase in the Belize district. It started with fisheries officers who were turning from Belmopan when they saw a pickup loaded with ice boxes in the pan blow past them. They coordinated with police and other law enforcement personnel who followed the vehicle to a gas station near Mirage Road in Ladyville, where it made a stop. 9 men were on board, and when they searched the ice boxes, they found 439 undersized conch hidden on the fish fillet. The conch was impounded, and 4 of the 8 fishermen accepted ownership of the illegal products. All were given a summons to appear next Tuesday in court. Their total fines could exceed $60,000. Cayo police are investigating a brazen home invasion that ended in gunfire and left a 68-year-old businessman and owner of a major tourism attraction fighting for his life. The incident unfolded yesterday evening in the Dark Night area of Franksetti Village, where armed men reportedly stormed a family home, tied up the homeowner's wife, and terrorized his children. Jaleesa Roberts has more on this story.
Yesterday evening, when coming from school, the 9-year-old son of Bradley Pauman was held at gunpoint and taken into his home. His mother told us via phone about the terror of seeing her son walk in with a stranger pointing a gun to his head.
The gunman came and held my son at gunpoint, brought them in the house, grabbed my gold chain from my neck, put me down, make me sit at ground and I move. They duct taped me in the beginning. The kids were crying and screaming like kids normally would in that situation. He dropped my kids off. They came to our house and assaulted me and my kids first.
Okay.
Grabbed my jewelry, stole everything, ramstocked the house, and then waited for him to come back. I do not know what transpired between him and the gentleman because they waited and they locked the door so Brad couldn't come inside. He was knocking on the door, and I guess his dumb never noticed they locked the door because they were waiting for him to come inside. After that, I do not know what transpired between them and my husband. That's between whatever my husband said and them. I just know what me and my kids went through.
During the confrontation, the men demanded that Pauman give them the password to a safe inside the home. Pauman did so, but the suspects were unable to open it. One of the intruders then shot Pauman in the back. Despite being shot, Pauman attempted to defend himself, leading to a struggle with the suspects. Pauman told the police that the gunman pointed the weapon at his head and attempted to fire again, but the firearm jammed. Since the incident, site manager Benjamin Mass says security has doubled.
We have doubled up on security both in the front and at the back. We have a security 24/7, and we are in contact with the police, and they're doing several patrols here more often. This is an isolated situation. It could happen anywhere, on the road, anywhere. So it doesn't affect the tours. It didn't happen on the tour side, didn't happen anywhere close to tours.
And Pauman's wife, Celine, rejected all rumors that the robbery was rooted from a land deal gone wrong.
This was a robbery. These people targeted us and robbed us. They came with put a gun at my son's head, my daughter's head. My kids are only 9 and 5. You know what, to have a 9-year-old have gun at his head, aim at his head, and he's a sweet soul. He was making sure he's protecting his sister. He did everything they asked. He even blamed himself that it's his fault because he brought them upstairs, but they came after my kids. My kids are traumatized.
For now, no suspects have been detained, and Pauman remains in a stable condition at the Western Regional Hospital. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
In a press brief this evening, police confirmed that the robbery has nothing to do with Pauman's past. Here's more.
What we have learned so far in the course of the ongoing investigation is that Powman was at his residence in Frank's Eddy Village, along with other members of his family, when three masked male persons are reported to have entered that residence. One of the male persons was armed with a firearm, and they made demands of the family that they handed over items that were in their possession. A struggle ensued between Mr. Powman and the armed male person, and during the course of that, Mr. Powman is reported to have received those gunshot wounds. The male persons escaped with items of property belonging to the occupants of the house, and police have since detained one person in course of the ongoing investigation and are seeking two others.
Have you guys been able to ascertain if the perpetrator was someone that worked for him? Because we went there today and it's pretty far, so it's someone that would have to know where the place is.
The details of the investigation that has been disclosed is the extent to which the department wishes to disclose. As stated, it's an ongoing investigation, and there are two other persons that police are seeking.
Powman's wife and two children were not injured during the ordeal. Last night, we reported on a catamaran that was found adrift in Belizean waters with a dead man on board. He was later identified as 72-year-old Thomas David Herman of Vancouver, Canada. His wife was on board with him, and she said that they were on their way to the Cayman Islands and the elderly man fell whilst fixing the sail. He then reportedly suffered a heart attack. The boat was headed from Honduras, but the body was discovered in Belizean waters. So it is now a crime for Belize police to solve. The police today shared what they have learned so far.
What we know so far is that the vessel is believed to have departed Honduras around the 9th of March, and sometime during that day, a distress signal was sent to the Honduran authorities. This information was communicated, and efforts were made by both the Honduran authorities as well as Canadian authorities to locate the vessel with a view to bringing it to shore. Communication was made by the Honduran authorities to the Belize rescue team, and they were advised as to the specific location, and they were able to go out and make that rescue and bring the ship to the catamaran to dock. So we have received indication as to the female that was on board. What I can say is that she is reported to have been rescued by a cruise ship that was in the area, and her identity has been known, and she would have communicated with a relative of the deceased Mr. Harman about the incident.
The police believe that foul play was involved based on the evidence that was found on the scene.
It is an ongoing investigation. We are awaiting the results of the post-mortem to make a determination in that regard.
Currently, it is being treated as a death investigation. 26-year-old Michael Gladden is back behind bars awaiting his sentence after he was found guilty for the attempted murder of 33-year-old Karen Pinto. Pinto was targeted back in December of 2020 and was forced to seek asylum in the U.S. She appeared via video link and testified against Gladden. She explained that she was chased by two men around 6:30 at night when she went to a store with her ex-common-law husband. It was while they were leaving the store that they were then followed by the gunmen. They fired several shots at her and her ex-common-law husband, causing both of them to run. She fell into a swamp, and as the gunmen stood over her, she was hit and decided to play dead to trick her attackers. Sentencing for Gladden is set for May 8th. The court is expected to hear a mitigation plea on his behalf. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll have much more news, so don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
4.3 million was paid for legal and professional fees in relation to Petrocaribe, and another 4 million is projected to be spent every year for the next 3 years. 16 million in legal and professional advisory fees, but we done with Petrocaribe in 2016.
The government's blue bond carried another 85 million in transaction costs. That's tens of millions more in legal and advisory fees. So who's collecting?
Show those fees!
Exposed by Freedom of Information requests, the government admitted Courtney Coy LLP was paid $227,000 on just one disclosed contract. How many more are there? So while millions of dollars are being spent, the Prime Minister is begging Washington for help securing our borders.
It is important that we get the necessary assistance, especially from the United States. We need equipment. We need intelligence.
But there's no shortage of millions for legal and advisory services.
Who is getting those legal and professional advisory fees?
It's time to come clean, Mr. Prime Minister.
We have centralized systems of corruption in this government.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
At Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
4.3 million was paid for legal and professional fees in relation to Petrocaribe. And another 4 million is projected to be spent every year for the next 3 years. 16 million in legal and professional advisory fees. What we done with Petrocaribe in 2016.
The government's blue bond carried another 85 million in transaction costs. That's tens of millions more in legal and advisory fees. So who's collecting?
Show those fees!
Exposed by Freedom of Information requests, the government admitted Courtney Coy LLP was paid $227,000 on just one disclosed contract. How many more are there? So while millions of dollars are being spent, the Prime Minister is begging Washington for help securing our borders.
It is important that we get the necessary assistance, especially from the United States. We need equipment. We need intelligence.
But there's no shortage of millions for legal and advisory services.
Who is getting those legal and professional advisory fees?
It's time to come clean, Mr. Prime Minister.
We have centralized systems of corruption in this government.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Today, Glenn Murillo Jr. of Sarstoun Street appeared before a senior magistrate in courtroom number 2 on where he was read 2 charges, kept firearm and kept ammunition without a license issued by the Firearms and Ammunition Control Board. ASP Stacey Smith explained the incident that led to his detention.
Police have formally arrested and charged Glenn Murillo for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and 2 counts of kept ammunition without a gun license. These arrests follows an operation conducted by Special Branch and Quick Response Team personnel in Ladyville on 11 March 2026 at approximately 5:50 p.m. The arresting officer reported that they visited a residence near mile 13 on the George Price Highway with a view to executing a search, and upon their arrival, they observed a male person, later identified as Murillo, making his way to the rear of the property. Murillo was pursued, and when he was intercepted, he was found in possession of a 9mm pistol, which contained a magazine with 15 live rounds of 9mm ammunition. A subsequent search was conducted at Murillo's residence, which is located in Los Lagos, and a search of that residence led to the discovery of 3 9mm magazine and an additional 16 live rounds of 9mm ammunition.
Murillo Jr. pleaded not guilty to both charges. However, due to the nature of the offenses, bail was denied and he was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until May 11th of 2026. 5 persons, including 2 minors, have been remanded after police reportedly discovered a prohibited firearm and ammunition during a house search in Belize City earlier this week. The group appeared late yesterday evening before a magistrate in courtroom number 3, where they were jointly charged with kept prohibited firearm following the discovery of the weapon and ammunition. All 5 pleaded not guilty to the charge. Due to the nature of the offense, bail was denied. The 3 adults, Gavin Armstrong, Donnie White, and Antoine King, were remanded to the Belize Central Prison, while the 2 minors were remanded to the Wagner's Youth Facility. The group is scheduled to return to court on May 11, 2026. ASP Stacey Smith tells us more about the discovery.
Police have formally arrested and jointly charged Gavin Armstrong, 18 years of age, of an Electric Avenue address, Donny White, 20 years of age, of a Ordones Street address, and 19-year-old Anton King, as well as 2 male minors for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. The arrest of these individuals follows the search of a residence located on Electric Avenue, which led to the discovery of a Glock 19 Gen 5 9mm pistol with an extended magazine which contained 30 live rounds of 9mm ammunition. The firearm was discovered in a mattress at the residence, and as a consequence of this discovery, the officers formally arrested and charged the aforementioned individual.
Of note is that one of the minors is the brother of a recent murder victim. In a press release issued today, the PUC confirmed it has received a submission from BTL dated February 10, 2026, requesting a formal review of its plan to acquire SpeedNet, better known as SMART. However, the regulator signaled that the deal is far from a formality. The Commission has issued a series of critical considerations to both BTL and SpeedNet and required them to answer by April 13th of 2026. They have to answer questions about financial soundness, market fairness, and consumer protection. The scrutiny is intensified by the PUC's final determination issued 2 days ago, which formally established the BTL holds market dominance across all relevant telecommunications sectors. The good news at this juncture is that regular citizens, organizations, trade unions, NGOs, and others can now give their input. The public has until 5 p.m. on Monday, April 13th, 2026 to submit its comments by email to info@puc.bz. The Finstein Group has an international pressure campaign on the Briceño administration as they try to expose the government for acquiring their stake bank Key Cruise port project. Earlier this week, that translated into a letter from U.S. Congressman Brian J. Mast to the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, saying, quote, "Concerns have been raised with the committee regarding the state of rule of law in Belize and the potential implications for U.S. strategic interests, American investments, and the bilateral relationship." Well, the government of Belize has come up with a response, and it says, quote, "The government of Belize will cooperate fully with the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs and the U.S. State Department to provide any information or clarification that would assist in their assessment of Belize's investment climate." It adds, quote, "Regarding the compulsory acquisition of the stake bank extension, this matter was adjudicated by the High Court of Belize, which held that the acquisition was constitutional. The claimants have proceeded to appeal that decision in the Court of Appeal in Belize." After months without one, today the KHMH announced that its new CEO will be current Financial Director Shireen Reyes. This comes after the former CEO Chandra Cancino chose not to renew her contract back in October of 2025. A press release from the hospital says, quote, "Reyes was selected following a competitive recruitment process involving 5 applicants. After careful consideration, the subcommittee of the board determined that she demonstrated the leadership and vision required to manage and improve the institution," end quote. Reyes will be taking office as CEO on April 1st. Lemonal villagers are currently in fear of their lives and that of their pets after a relocated Jaguar has been lurking in their community. They tell us the Jaguar has already killed several dogs and the residents are now asking for help. According to the community health worker, Nicole Anthony, she's unable to properly do her work because she's afraid to leave her home. That comes after 2 of her dogs were killed. The first dog, named Betty, was killed on January 23rd at 9 at night. After that, her family tried to keep the other dog, Bruno, safe, but to no avail. We spoke to her over the phone and she explained what happened and how they tried to capture the Jaguar themselves.
Thursday, our dog Bruno, that's a hound dog, we had him tied under our step with a light over him. And Bruno, around 4 a.m., my uncle got up and he was walking in his house. And the Jaguar, which is very sensitive to noise, heard him. And something told him to look outside. And when he looked outside, he saw Bruno dead. When we buried Bruno a couple days after, when we checked it, the Jaguar was trying to dig him up. But the ground was clammy, so he couldn't do it. So we came up with a solution on how to catch this, a solution to kill it because it's endangering us. So we borrowed a cage and a dog. We borrowed the dog, so my son called it Ribbity Bait because it's a bait. So we got that this Saturday after the Thursday, and when we put the dog in the cage, my uncle was waiting again. He didn't sleep the entire night. And around 5:30, when he said he was going back to sleep, when he looked out the window, he saw the Jaguar. But the same time he saw the Jaguar, same time the dog saw it. So it stood up to it and it ran. The dog was in the trap for 1 week and a half, but the dog was punishing, so I took it out. I took it out last week, Friday. And when I took it out last week, Friday, it went to someone else's house and killed his dog. I loved it, my dog. I didn't care for pets, but I loved it, Bruno. Bruno was one of the best dogs ever. He was so pretty, handsome, mannerly. He never, ever would hurt anything. That Jaguar just came on Bruno. Bruno never had any warning to bark because it's not a vicious dog, and Bruno wasn't even 2. Bruno was around 1 year old. Bruno was a pet, my son's dog. That was the only friend my son had because I only have one child. And Bruno was the dog that my son would play with in the evenings, check on it in the mornings. So we need a solution.
The villagers have been engaged with the forestry department, who had set up cameras that captured the Jaguar lurking around the cage. Additionally, they will be holding a meeting with the residents on Sunday afternoon at 2. Today saw the hearing of applications in the Jeremy Enriquez and Nan Ramlogan versus the Attorney General and others of Belize at the CCJ. As has been widely reported, Enriquez had taken the government to court to try and force a redistricting before the 2025 general elections. The case was rejected at the High Court, but a number of matters are being appealed by his attorney Anand Ramlogan, who is bolstered now by British King's Counsel Peter Knox and Belize's Sheena Pitts. Today, Ramlogan made his submission virtually.
This is an entirely exceptional case, and the axis of this case is located in the fertile soil of the constitutional right to a fair hearing. Bias is inextricably and obviously intertwined with the concept of the right to a fair hearing. And in this case, this is the apex court, and our complaint is that our right to a fair hearing has been compromised and will continue to be compromised unless there is intervention by a superior court of record. And we are before the Caribbean Court of Justice, and we must chart new modern jurisprudence unique to meet our unique social, legal, and political considerations that apply in the Caribbean. I say no more than that. Those are my submissions.
Eliana Swift appeared for the Attorney General and Hector Guerra for the Elections and Boundaries Office. The hearing lasted about 5 hours. Judgment is expected in a few weeks. On Monday, the University of Belize's Policy Research Institute held its Foreign Policy Series discussion under the theme Focus on Cuba, Model Society or Terrorist State. Taking center stage was former Communist Party worker Otto Bernardino Morero Nunez, who gave his spin on Cuba's role in the world and its current battles.
We send doctors all over. The Americans, they send troops, Marines. It's a different, huh? It's a big difference. So we are terrorists in the question of sending doctors. Sending them. Because, the terrorism is in the United States. It's state terrorism. They've been trying to eliminate Cuba. They are the one that violated the thing. They are the terrorists, not us. We are the victims. They are the victimizers. So they don't want to have to change. And I hope sometime. Because even if we got friends that are close allies, I think, with the United States, and they voted at the UN against the blockade.
On the side of, and we're going to go to the audience soon, but on the side of democracy, which is this word that...
democracy.
Democracy. That some critics of Cuba would say that only if Cuba would become more democratic and have elections, there would be less opposition to Cuba internationally. How do you respond to that?
Well,
as a Cuban citizen,
democracy is people's participation. That's the real name of it. It comes from people's participating in government and social aspects. That's the thing. And Cuba, in Cuba, everybody. Why do you think that 67 years defending ourselves and surviving from the United States so close to Cuba, and they invaded many countries all over, and they had not been able to defeat Cuba.
This is the 4th discussion in the series. And that's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indra Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night. Join Miriam Abdul Kawe here tomorrow, and I'll be seeing you back on Monday. So until then, have a great night.